And I'll mute you guys. Mute, mute, mute. Mute, mute. Perfect. Okay. And then I'm also maybe going to spotlight myself. Maybe I'm not going to do that. Oh, God. I don't know. Okay. I'm not spotlighting myself because I can't figure out how, but you can spotlight me if you want. Okay. Or pin me to your main screen. Okay, friends. Snowy day yoga. I feel like you, the ones that I know of you, aren't like, you don't need like the hardest power class in the whole world. So let's do a little like nicer, a little softer. Like it'll still be hard and powery, but nothing too crazy, yeah? Okay. I mean, that sounds good to me, so I hope it sounds good to you. All right. Comfortable seated position. So find whatever feels best in your body, and especially since you're in your own space, if there's anything that you want to use to get more comfortable, then use it. So if you want to sit up on top of a bolster, a couple pillows, a couple blankets, anything like that, feel free. And if there's some wiggles you want to get out, move your physical body a little bit, especially in the morning after we wake up, and you get a little physical feedback. How are you feeling today? How's your body? And then eventually find your way into stillness. So just your seated meditation. Sitting up nice and tall with awareness. Close your eyes. And rest your hands somewhere intentionally. So maybe your hands just rest in your lap. Maybe you bring your hands to your heart, or even one hand to your heart space, one hand to your belly. And then let's just take right away 3 great big deep breaths. So next time you inhale, fill up as big as you can. And then when you think you're full, sip in a little bit extra. Open your mouth, sigh it out, let it go. Do that a couple more times. Inhale, fill up. Take a moment to pause in fullness and let that breath just circulate around. When you're ready, sigh it out, let it go. You can make some noise if you want to. One last time, inhale, biggest inhale of your entire morning. Up into the crown of your head, down into the base of your spine, out into your fingers, into your toes. Hold longer than you think you can, just a little tiny bit longer. And then big sigh. Let it go. Seal your lips now. And start to drop into your ujjayi breath. So in and out through your nose by way of the back of your throat. See if you can start to create that gentle whisper noise, that oceanic sound with your breath. So rather than just dying to start with our physical practice and just anticipating, see if you can actually just be with your breath and just sit. It's hard for us to just sit still and just breathe. We want to do something so badly. Let's see if you can be here just a little bit longer, seated, not moving, not needing to explore physically just yet, but just feeling energetically, feeling your breath flowing through you, the rise and fall, the expansion and contraction. Maybe you do notice your impulses to move, and then just choose to stay still and to keep focusing on your breath. Soften your face, loosen through your forehead, your eyebrows, your eyelids. Let your shoulders perhaps melt down away from your ears a little bit further. Feel your neck get a little longer. Take just 3 more rounds. If you want, you can exhale out your mouth. Good job, you guys. After your 3 breaths, let's begin to move. So come forward to hands and knees, tabletop position, and just start to move either through cat-cows, or if you would like, you can go straight into your just intuitive movement, your creative movement. So anything that feels good from the position of all fours. Maybe you want to sit back into a kneeling position, take your arms up. Maybe you want to take it into a child's pose of some sort. Rest there, breathe there. So just give yourself a moment to feel now your physical body, to explore what's moving through you physically. Use your big, deep breaths. Perhaps you want to close your eyes. So if it feels like your mind, your thoughts just will not turn off, that's okay. Don't try to push them away. We can't really push them away, and sometimes that makes it worse. But see if you can just start to watch them. Let them come, let them go. Let them come, let them go. So not attaching to them. Keep your breath moving and flowing. And just notice, how does your spine feel? How do your shoulders feel? Your hips? And then in your own time, friends, we'll take it all the way back to downward facing dog. So when you're ready, no rush. Downward facing dog is where we will end up. Once you're back in your dog pose, start to explore. So just move around. In your downward facing dog, what can you notice today? So what feels really good in your down dog? And then what feels tight, stiff, sore, tender? And explore in your own way. So maybe that means you're taking one leg up and then the other. Maybe that means there's not even any movement to be seen on the outside, but you're making all these little tiny adjustments inside. So there's a million ways to explore each posture. Just feel into it in your way. Soften through your face, unclench your jaw. And just feel your breath rising and falling. See if you can use your breath as a form of support. So your breath isn't supposed to be this extra thing that you have to think about the whole time. It's making it really, really hard to stay focused on the pose. In fact, it should be the opposite. Your breath is just, it's in the background, but you do have awareness of it. It's supporting you. Each inhale makes you feel lighter, makes you feel more buoyant. Each exhale connects you to your sensors. So at the bottom of each exhale, see if you can feel what's called Uddiyana Bandha, that navel to spine connection, that core lock. So if we can use our breath in a way that supports us, really, in my opinion, it changes how our entire practice feels. Flows so much easier. Rather than fighting against your breath, all of a sudden, you're working with it. Take one more big inhale into your down dog, my friends. And then as you exhale, look forward to the top of your mat, and however you want to get there, forward fold. So feet about hips width distance apart, or maybe even a little bit wider. Make sure all of your toes are facing directly forward, and then just hang out in your fold for a few rounds, wherever you want to go. So ragdoll, or maybe hands behind your head and release your fingers at the base of your skull. Little sway, little bob, little bounce. Bend your knees a little or a lot, and try to keep your weight just slightly forward so your heels are pretty light against the ground. And if you're like me, I tend to rock onto the outer edges of my feet here, so I really have to focus on pressing into the inner edges as well. So notice your own little imbalances, and then see if you can kind of find the counter stretch, or the way to find your own happy medium, the way to balance yourself out. Take one more breath in your forward fold. And guess what? We're just gonna roll up today. So let your arms and your head hang super, super heavy. Bend your knees, roll up one vertebra at a time. Really, 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 really slow. The very top of your head stacks. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down a few times. And if you want, you can bring your feet in a little bit closer. Personally, I like my hips width distance apart. Eventually, shoulders roll back and down, palms open. So just stand in mountain pose. This is Tadasana, mountain pose. Arms by your sides. Root through your feet. Feel that grounding sensation through your feet, your connection to the earth. And then draw up through the crown of your head. Lift through the crown of your head. Feel the length in your spine. Feel your connection to the divine, something bigger, something greater than yourself. And feel into your own heart space. Feel the opening in the front of your heart, so your shoulders should be nice and broad. Maybe your arms come out a little bit wider so that your palms can open. Feel into your own neutral pelvis, neutral spine from the inside. So close your eyes and find neutral just by feeling. Maybe it means you bend your knees a little more. Maybe it means you adjust through your spine or your arms. So just feeling into your own body. There's so much to be felt. Take one more big, huge inhale where you're at. Open your mouth side up. Ujjayi, reach your arms to the sky. Inhale. Swan dive down as you exhale. Some traction out your spine. Then let it go. Inhale to a halfway lift position. So lengthen. Stick your butt out. Reach the top of your head forward. Exhale, fold and bow. From the press of your feet, reverse swan dive. So you might bend your knees a lot. Heart leads all the way up. Arms reach. Hands to heart center. Exhale. Again, like that. Inhale, reach up and stretch. Swan dive down. Stick your butt out. Reach your heart forward. Then let it go. Uttanasana. Halfway lift. Ardha Uttanasana. Breathe in lots of length and strength. Exhale, fold. Press into your feet. Lead with your heart. Rise. Inhale, big full body stretch. Hands to heart center. Exhale. All right, inhale, take your arms up. And this time, let's bring our hands behind our back and interlace our fingers. So roll your shoulders back and down, squeeze your shoulder blades towards your spine, and start to reach your hands back away from your body if you can. Try not to lock out your elbows. If it's helpful, press your palms together and bend your elbows a lot, and then imagine your elbows are magnetized. You can stay here or add a little back bend. So press your hips gently forward as you hug in with your inner thighs. Lift your heart, lift your gaze. One more big in-breath. Exhale, swan dive. Keep your hands clasped. So hinge at your hips all the way down into your fold. Hang out here with your fingers interlaced. If it feels better, bend your knees a lot or take your feet out wider. Let your head be very heavy. So maybe shake yes, no. See if you can lift your knuckles up. See if you can lift your butt up. Use your core. Use your breath. Take one more inhale. Exhale, hands to low back. Release your clasp. Let your arms hang. Next time you breathe in, find your halfway lift position. Realign your spine. Exhale, plant your hands, step your feet back, plank pose. Top of a push-up. Spread your fingers really wide and push the ground away. If you want to modify, you're welcome to come to your knees. Take one more big inhale. If your knees are lifted, rock forward onto your tiptoes. Legs squeeze. Exhale, slowly lower. Chaturanga. Back bend of your choice as you breathe in. So you choose anywhere you want to go and maybe a couple of breaths to kind of feel and explore. And then you guys, just hands and knees, tabletop, all fours. So spread your fingers wide, push the ground away so that you feel your arms get strong, your shoulders, your pectorals, your chest muscles even turn on. So you don't want to just sink into your wrists and your elbows. You want lots of strength in your arms, and then draw your belly button in and up, almost like you're puffing up through your low back so you're connected to your center. Rather than gazing forward, gaze down and feel the length in the back of your neck. Take your left leg back and up. So left leg parallel to the ground. Notice how more weight comes into your left hand, right? So see, you can really press through your left fingertips and just take your right arm forward. Nothing else changes. Right arm reaches forward, spinal balance. Palm faces in, thumb faces up, strong, straight, powerful line of energy here. Take one more big inhale. As you exhale, elbow to knee around your spine, hollow out your belly. Inhale, long, strong, and powerful. 2 more times, exhale, elbow to knee. Like you're moving through honey, so slowly. Inhale, long, strong, powerful. 1 more time, elbow to knee, curl in, hollow out, empty out. Inhale, reach. Now listen, exhale, set your right hand down. Pivot on your right knee, so your right foot comes to the outside of your mat like a little kickstand. And then left arm to the sky. So modified side plank is where we are at. Option to take your left arm forward. If you want to, you can even set your left foot down. So you choose left foot down or left foot lifted, and then work that length in your left side. See if you can press your hips gently forward. Stay right here, or your final option is to bend your left knee, reach back, grab hold of your left foot. Spread your toes, and then kick your foot into your hand. Pull your hand back into your foot. See if you can let your heart start to look up. So gaze up. Maybe your heart follows. Press into your right fingertips. Push the ground away. Take one more huge breath. End of your exhale. Slowly release. Hands and knees, tabletop position. All right, you guys. So from your tabletop, gate your right leg out to the right. So gating your leg is just extending it out, just like that. Yes. And then from here, we're just gonna rock a few times forward and back. So it's like a gated cobra and a gated child's pose. It's fine if your right toes turn up towards the sky as you move back and forth. I'm making this movement pretty big. Yours doesn't have to be as big. Just feel into it for yourself. All right, and then let's come back to neutral. So now my left hip is pretty much over my left knee. My right heel is straight out from my right hip, and my toes now face forward. The sole of my foot is planted on the ground. Take your left arm out, take your left arm up, inhale here. Exhale, thread your left arm underneath you. So reach, 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 and then come down, rest on the outside of your shoulder, outside of your head. If you don't like your right leg extended, you're welcome to set your right knee down at any time. Then big deep breaths wherever you want to take this. Soften your face. See if you can really feel your breath in your back body. Take 2 or 3 more rounds. If you have your right hand lifted, bring your right hand back to the ground. Next time you inhale, unthread your left arm and reach it up. Open up, set your left hand down. Pick up your right foot and swing your right tiptoes off the left side of your yoga mat. So I'm gonna start with my hips. I'm gonna move my hips over to the right. So when I do that, my elbows have to bend a little bit. I'm gazing back over my shoulder, looking back at my tiptoes. Sometimes I like to peekaboo underneath my armpit and round a little bit. So you can explore and work this pose. Find your own little sweet spot here. Take 1 more deep breath. Back to tabletop. And then in your next 3 rounds, downward facing dog. If you want a child's pose, if you want a vinyasa, if you want a couple cat-cows or hip circles. And then we'll meet in down dog. In your down dog, find your ujjayi breath. So reconnect if you've lost it. Okie dokie, from your dog pose, next inhale, right leg to the sky. Square off your hip. So if you want to open your hip or get any little exploration in, that's okay. But eventually you just find square hips. So inner thighs face each other. Right hip faces down, maybe slightly back. Strong and powerful through your right leg. Take 1 more inhale. Exhale, right knee to your nose, round your spine, scoop out your belly, step through softly, low lunge. Take a moment to just stretch your own legs in your own way. Just feel around. And then today, we're gonna rise up to a warrior 2. So when you are ready, let's say in your next couple breaths, Virabhadrasana 2. So right toes forward, left toes to the left. Right arm forward, left arm back. So open hips, open shoulders. Really wrap your front butt cheek, your right butt cheek underneath. Track your front knee towards your pinky toe. Feel into a neutral spine and a neutral pelvis. A lot of people here kind of sink into their low back. So navel to spine connection. Breathe. Root through your feet, draw up through the crown of your head. Inhale, reverse warrior. Front palm rotates up. Reach up, lengthen. Maybe reach just slightly back. Bend your front knee even more. Keep wrapping your front butt cheek. Try not to stick your left hip way out, so don't let it shoot forward. Pull it back. Keep that neutral pelvis. Take 1 more big inhale. Exhale, warrior 2. Let's straighten out our front leg. Shorten your stance just an inch or so for triangle. Maybe your stance is fine, so you feel what feels right. Now, hips are getting pulled back as your right fingertips are reaching forward. So it's not like your whole body's going forward, it's like you're being pulled in 2 opposite directions. Hips back, right fingertips forward. So reach, 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 and then just arms change. Right hand towards the ground, left arm towards the sky. Heart open, hips open. Your right hand, there's not a lot of weight in it. So I'm bringing mine to my shin. You can use a block. You can bring your fingertips towards the ground. The Bikram variation is peace fingers around your right toe if you want to go there. But just make sure you can breathe big, deep breaths. You feel strength and support as well as a sense of stretching and softness. I like to take my left arm forward sometimes, bicep next to my ear. So lots of options. You do you. About 2 more deep breaths. from the press of your feet. So really press into your feet. Next inhale, rise up, both arms to the sky. Parallel your feet. So all 10 toes are now facing towards the long edge of your mat. Take a great big inhale, reach higher, maybe gaze up. Exhale, stick your butt out, reach your heart forward, take it all the way down, wide-legged forward fold. About 5 rounds of breath here, anywhere you would like to go. Notice what feels good and then notice what feels not good. That's part of this practice as well. Any little adjustments you can make so that the pose just works better for your body today. Take your last couple of breaths here. And then next time you breathe in, fingertips to the ground, halfway lift. So bend your knees if needed. Walk your hands forward, rotate your toes forward, low lunge. So pivot to the ball of your back foot. Now we're going to rise up to a crescent lunge. Strong legs. Pull your front hip back hip forward energetically. Tone through your low, deep abdominals, navel to spine. Heart lifts, gaze. If possible, lift slightly. Back leg just as strong as front leg. Take one more breath here. Now listen carefully. Root into your front foot. Standing staff. So right foot is now your base. Top of your mat. Left knee is lifted. Left foot is active. Figure 4. Outer left ankle. Top of your right thigh. You can either take this into a forward fold, or you can take it into a one-legged chair, or if there's another variation you want to take, feel free. If you've got a wall or something in front of you, you can use it to help with balance. That's the joys of being at home. You've got all these props you can use. No judgment. Keep the flex in your left toes. Keep actively pressing your outer ankle into the top of your right thigh. So finding your own variation and just sending your breath all the way down into your left hip. Softening through your outer shell. Take about 3 more. We will come back to standing staff. So however you need to get there, right foot roots down, left knee lifts up. Take one more inhale. And then just set your left foot on the ground, bring your hands to your heart, exhale. Keep your hands at your heart or arms by your sides, just like before. Palms open. Close your eyes. Feel your body from the inside. Feel your feet rooting down. Draw up through the crown of your head, lengthen through the back of your neck, broaden through your shoulders. Just feel your breath moving through. Feel the energy inside of you. Maybe you notice a difference of right side versus left side, maybe not. Next time you inhale, stay as you are. Fill up as big as you can. Hold at the top. Take up more space. Open your mouth, sigh it out. Ujjayi, arms to the sky, stretch. Exhale, take your swan dive down. Breathe in, halfway lift position. Exhale, plant your hands, feet back, vinyasa, however you would like. And then child's pose is where we will end up. So in your own time, just sitting back into child's pose, resting for a moment. Really breathing down into your low back and low belly. Good job, you guys. Next time you inhale, tabletop, hands and knees. So start with your arms, spread your fingers, push the ground away. Feel the strength there. Draw your belly button in and up, almost like you're rounding your low back just a little tiny bit. Now right leg extends back, parallel to the ground, hips square. Make sure you didn't arch your back, so draw your belly button in and up. Feel how most of your weight is in your right hand now. Press down firmly through your right fingertips. Try not to let anything else change. Take your left arm forward. So like you're going to shake somebody's hand, thumb faces up, palm faces in. Big inhale, strong, straight, powerful line. Push the ground away. Exhale, elbow to knee, slow motion. Inhale, get long, strong, and powerful. Elbow to knee, exhale. Navel to spine. Inhale, lengthen. One last time, elbow to knee. Curl in, hollow out, empty out. Inhale, get long. And exhale, left hand comes down. Pivot on your left knee so your left foot comes out behind you like a little kickstand. Right arm to the sky. Modified side plank. Your right foot can stay lifted, right leg is strong, or right foot to the ground, no big deal. Take your right arm forward. So bicep next to your ear. Lengthen your right side body, reach. Perfect place to stay or final option. Bend your right knee, reach back, grab hold of your foot. See if you can spread your toes. And then kick, foot in the hand. Pull hand back in the foot. Maybe your heart looks up. Maybe your gaze goes up. One more big, huge breath. End of your exhale, slowly let it go. Back to tabletop. And then from tabletop, take your left leg straight out to the left. So gate your left leg. And then remember just that little rock forward and back. And I'm coming up to my fingertips and I'm letting my left toes rotate up. So you can let your toes look up towards the sky. You can explore in any way, as long as it feels right in your body. And then back to neutral. Back to center. So shoulders over wrists. Left heel is straight up from your left hip, toes point forward. Right arm out to the right, all the way up to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, thread it through. Reach, 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 and then come down to rest. Your own exploration here, a few deep breaths. Soft face, soft jaw, soft forehead. All the way to empty last couple rounds. If you do have your left hand lifted, bring it back down. Next, inhale, unthread your right arm and reach it all the way up, 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 open up. Set your right hand down. Pick up your right foot and swing your right tiptoes off. Swing your left tiptoes, so it's your left foot, off the right side of your yoga mat. So that leg that was extended out, taking it back and over to the right. You'll gaze back over your right shoulder, so pull your hips to the left as you gaze back to the right. See if you can really feel that stretch in your left side. And again, maybe you peekaboo under your armpit, maybe you arch your back, maybe you rock forward, rock back. One more round of breath. And then tabletop. In your next few rounds, about 3 breaths to get back to down dog. So anything goes. And then eventually downward facing dog. Ujjayi breath. Inhale, left leg to the sky. If you want, open your hip, move around a bit, but then square off your hips. So inner thighs face each other, left hip faces down, maybe slightly back. Make your left leg straight, strong, and powerful. And then press forward and down through your fingertips. Take one more big inhale. Exhale, left knee to your nose. Round your spine, hollow out, step forward softly. Take a moment to just stretch your own legs in your own way. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. Try to let go of your own self-consciousness, your own insecurities, since you're in your own space. Do whatever you want, no judgment at all. Sometimes we have to do things that don't feel good to figure out, oh, that doesn't feel right. When yoga teachers say, like, do what feels good to you. I know it's hard because we don't always know what feels good versus what is good for us. But I think we learn more and more as we practice more and more. So just feeling around, seeing what happens. Warrior 2, when you're ready, rise up and settle in. So left toes face directly forward, right toes directly to the right. Make sure you have a wide enough stance so that you're not bringing your front knee forward of your ankle. So if that's happening, widen your stance. Knee on top of your ankle. Wrap your front butt cheek underneath. Stack your shoulders over your hips. Feel your weight nice and centered. Breathe. Inhale, reverse warrior. Front palm rotates up. Reach up to lengthen, 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 and then reach back. Keep that deep bend in your front knee. Lift your left ribs away from your left hip. Draw your belly button back so your low back is supported, protected. Soften through your face. One more huge breath. Back to your warrior 2. Straighten your front leg, setting up for triangle. So maybe you already like where your feet are. For me, I usually shorten my stance about 2 inches. So you do you. Remember, we're gonna pull our hips back as we reach forward. So like there's a rope pulling your hips back at the same time as you're reaching, reaching, reaching. Then just arms change. Left arm towards the ground, right arm towards the sky. Heart open, hips open. Breathe. Your own variation. So wherever you would like to take this for you on this side. Big deep breaths. Stay rooted through your feet. Stay open through your heart, through your shoulders, through your hips. Working that length in your front leg. Make sure you're not hyperextending or locking out your knees. Last couple breaths. From the press of your feet, so press through your feet and then lift your upper body up. Arms reach up. Pivot all of your toes to face the right long edge of your mat. Big inhale here. And swan dive down. Exhale, wide-legged fold, or wherever you would like to take it. So feet, please feel free to move around on your own. About 2 more breaths, 2 or 3. Good. Next time you inhale, halfway lift, fingertips on the ground. So bend your knees as much as you need to. Walk your hands forward, rotate your toes forward, so you're in a low lunge. So pivot to the ball of your back foot. We'll rise to crescent. So find your strong lunge position, root through your feet, rise up, settle in. If you want to modify, your back knee can always come gently to the ground. Otherwise, your back leg is really powerful and strong. Pull your left hip back, right hip forward. So hips square, navel to spine, lift your heart. Breathe, soften through your face, unclench your jaw. Take one more big breath, lift your heart, reach through your fingertips. Okay, now remember, root into your left foot, standing staff, so all the way up. If you need to use your right foot to help you get there, totally fine. Right knee lifts, flex your right toes, hug in with your inner thighs for now to find your balance. Big inhale, figure four, exhale, outer right ankle, top of your left thigh. I'm gonna swan dive down. You might sit back into a one-legged chair, or if there's any other variation that you want to take, go for it. Big, spacious breaths. Flex your right toes. Press your right ankle firmly onto the top of your left thigh. Try not to clench your jaw. Soften around the pose. 2 or 3 more. Breathe all the way down into your hips. You can use walls or use any props at your house to help you balance. One more round, and then see if you can find your way back to standing staff, staying balanced on your left foot if possible. If not, nobody cares. All right, so right knee lifted, hugging with your inner thighs. One more inhale. Exhale, right foot down, hands to heart. Exhale. All right, so standing here with your hands at your heart, or one more time, arms by your sides for mountain. Feel into your body like a mountain, rooted through your feet, strong body. Lifted through the crown of your head. Breath flowing through you. So feeling into yourself as strong, as rooted, as grounded, stable. And then also feeling that connection to the divine, something greater than yourself. Crown of your head lifts up. Shoulders broaden, heart just slightly open, receptive. Your palms open, receptive. One more huge inhale here. Open mouth sigh when you're ready. Ujjayi, arms to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, slow dive down, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, plant your hands, feet back, vinyasa however you want to. And then child's pose for a moment. So sit back and rest. Forehead to your mat. Breathe into your low back, low belly. Feel your body, the energy moving through you, the sensations that are there. Next time you breathe in, downward facing dog. Okie dokie. Inhale, right leg to the sky. Open up your right hip. So bend your knee and reach your knee out. And then lift your knee up as high as you can. Try to keep your hands rooted, your shoulders strong. You can stay here, or option to flip your dog if you'd like. Right foot comes down behind you. Right arm reaches forward. Lift your heart, lift your hips. Push into the ground with your left fingertips. Take one more big breath in your back bend. And then everybody, meet in a three-legged dog again, right leg extended. Maybe square off your hips and just feel that difference. Big inhale. Exhale, pigeon pose, right? Shin to the top of your mat. Set your body down gently. If you'd rather take this on your back or in a seat, please feel free. So right knee is towards the outer right edge of my mat, and I'm not just flopping over onto my right butt cheek. I'm drawing my right hip back, left hip forward, so I feel that little bit of lift, structure, strength, integrity. Keep pulling my right hip back as I bow forward. So sometimes I use my hands as I bow forward. I kind of push forward and down, so my right hip gets pushed back as my heart comes forward, as I bow. And then if I want to go deeper, once I'm bowing forward, I just kind of scoop my back knee back a little bit. It doesn't take much. See if you can spread your front toes, or at least try to spread them. Have that intention. That should keep all the little tendons and ligaments in your ankle and your knee in place and safe. Big, expansive inhale. And exhales that allow you to soften. Allow you to melt. Take about 4 or 5 more breaths. Open mouth size at any time. And move your next exhalation. Slowly start your transition back to down dog. So I'm just going to say back to down dog, however you want to get there. There's a million ways. So again, you do you, and any little movement, stretches, wiggles in between sides to kind of neutralize. So I just took mine back to a three-legged dog, gave my right leg a little shake out. And then I'm walking it out of my downward facing dog. Maybe you want to take some cat cows. Maybe you want to move through a vinyasa. Downward facing dog in your next couple breaths if you're not there already. All right, left leg to the sky. Breathe in. Open your left hip, bend your knee, peel it open. So feel your left hip stack on top of your right hip. Left foot is active and strong. You can stay right here. This is a great stretch for the front of your hip. Or option to flip it. Left foot comes down. Reach your left arm forward. Left hand might come behind your head even. Lift your heart, lift your hips. Send your breath down into your belly. Back muscles strong. One more round. Three-legged down dog. Square off your hips. Left leg high. Inhale. Exhale, pigeon pose. Left shin forward. Set your body down. Set yourself up with intention. With integrity. Take it on your back. We're going to see if that works better for you. There's no shame. I honestly wish people would take modifications more often. I think we have this idea that if we modify, we're not as good, or we should feel guilty, we're not trying hard enough. A lot of times the modification is what works best for our body, and that's how we honor our body, where we're at. That's how we meet ourselves, where we're at. So it doesn't help when we force ourselves into a pose that we're not quite ready for. Usually that's how we end up getting hurt. So honor where you are at. And if that's taking pigeon on your back today, perfect. Take about 4 or 5 more breaths. Open mouth exhales at any time. And I'm gonna say maybe one more big, huge inhale. And then big open mouth sigh. If you do want to stay longer, fine with me. Start transitioning back to one final down dog as you're ready. And again, however you want to make that transition. Whatever little bits and pieces of movement you want to take to neutralize. Maybe a vinyasa, maybe cat cows, maybe some hip circles. If you're down on your back and you prefer to wait for us there, totally fine. Just take any movement on your back that feels good. Eventually, downward facing dog, and just really breathe into the space you've created. Stretch into it, move into it. Good. Nice, Lisa. And then take one last breath in your down dog. Maybe lifting your hips just a little higher. Maybe sending your heels a tiny bit closer to the ground. And then however you would like to transition all the way down onto your back. And once you're on your back, draw your knees gently in towards your belly and just rock side to side. Give your low back a little massage against the ground. Keep your right knee drawn in and extend your left leg out long. Supine spinal twist. Reach your right arm out to the right, scoot your hips over to the right, and then roll onto your left side. The hip scoot is very important if you ask me, in my personal opinion. So take time to scoot your hips so you can get onto the outside of your left hip and feel your right hip just stacked on top of left. You should feel the outer edge of your left foot against the ground. If possible, both shoulders are open and square towards the sky. Back of your right shoulder is rooted. If it lifts a little bit, that's okay. Gaze up or over your right shoulder, whatever feels better on your neck. And see if you can breathe all the way down to your belly. So as you inhale, your belly should expand. Exhale, contract, and let go. Take one more big breath. And then ease your way back to center. And you'll kind of have to scoot your hips back to center. Keep your left leg out long. Draw your right knee all the way up towards your armpit, hands around the front of your right shin, and give your knee a big squeeze in and up as you take a big Buddha belly breath. And then switch out your legs. So right leg long, left knee draws in. Left arm out. Hip scoot to the left. Roll onto your right side. And if you got into it, you guys, and you're like, oh, something doesn't feel right, come back to center. Maybe rock it out for a moment, kind of neutralize, and then come back in. So if at any time you get into a pose and you're like, something is off, come out of it, come back in your own way perhaps, or a different way perhaps. Or just take a moment to neutralize. So really do try to learn to listen to your body. And I know those words just seem kind of empty in the beginning, but the more you practice, the more you will learn to take the cues your body gives you. The more you'll learn how to take the cues. So you'll learn what to do when your low back feels weird in a supine twist, or what to do when your knee's hurting in pigeon. So just pay attention, take in the information without judgment, just observation. That's why this is called a practice, just like anything else. It takes practice in order for progress to happen, in order for change to happen, growth to happen. It takes consistency, takes effort, takes work. We can't show up for one yoga class and expect it to fix our body. Every ache and pain. It's a consistent practice. My mom is 76, probably practiced for 50 years, and she's like, her body is like 50 years old. Not 76 years old. She might disagree, but I think that. All right, let's come back to center. Kind of adjust your hips. So center your hips again. They should be straight down from your shoulders. Keep your right leg long. Squeeze your left knee up toward your left armpit. As you take that big, huge Buddha belly breath. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then full body stretch. Arms long, legs long. So get as long as you possibly can. Reach. If your ribs lift a lot, see if you can draw your back ribs down, even just a tiny bit, and feel a little more neutral through your spine. Take one more inhale. Reach. Exhale, knees towards your belly. Happy baby. Rock it out in your happy baby. Maybe straighten one leg and then the other. Try to neutralize your spine rather than rounding. Flex your toes, pull down with your arms, press up through your heels. If there are any other finishing poses that you want to take, complete your own practice for your own self, please do. And then just slowly find your way into your final relaxation, your final Shavasana. Yeah, I like it. Windshield wiper your knees, maybe. Just roll out your ankles, your wrists, perhaps. And then eventually just find either corpse pose or whatever position will really allow you to relax and to let go, to give in. At this point, let your breath become effortless. Your body just melts. Just some words as you drift off into your Shavasana. And I will bring you out of it today. So if you want to turn off your computer and just drift off into your Shavasana by yourself, totally fine. Otherwise, I'll bring you out in about 5 minutes. So my quote for you, it's Jeff Foster. He says, "What you really long for is a deep intimacy with your own experience, the deepest acceptance of every thought, every sensation, every feeling. And that cannot come from outside of yourself. What you really long for is a deep intimacy with your own experience, the deepest acceptance of every thought, every sensation, every feeling. And that cannot come from outside of yourself." These last few moments, just feel into the deepest acceptance of every thought, every feeling, every sensation moving through you. Shavasana. Take a deep breath in and let it go. Start to wiggle through fingers and toes. Bring gentle movement back into your body. As you're ready, roll to one side, fetal position. And give yourself a moment to just let everything settle, really sink in. Use your arms to slowly guide yourself up into seated meditation. So right back where we began our practice. As you find your seat, do it intentionally. Close your eyes. Let your shoulders soften. Face soften. Bring your hands to your heart. Bow your head to your heart. Just acknowledge yourself for taking time out of your day to show up, do your practice, connect with your breath, with your body, with yourself in a deeper way. Thank you guys for letting me guide you. Namaste. Thank you, friends. Love y'all. Thanks for joining. Lara go. Yeah, Lara's gone. Ghost yoga, man.
Later.
Hey, mwah.
Mwah.
Bye.